Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video I'm going to talk about people who are fighting against those who oppose what their favorite, or one of their favorites as they call them, content creator, YouTuber, content creator, they make the videos, when they are the naysayers. They are opposing what that person is saying. They're saying, that's wrong, you're lying, or you don't know what you're talking about, or something. So the other side attacks them verbally, starts calling them names. The naysayers. Oh, they're haters, they're trolls. They use this kind of terminology. Let me see, I wrote some of them down. They call them idiots, because they disagree with the person. Then the person's lying. Let's say lying. And apparently they've never met anybody that lies. Okay, so they're going to attack them. Well, let's see. Haters, mean people. Mean people seems to be the big one. They also make blanket statements about these, people who oppose the naysayers. Let me see. I'm looking at my notes. They call them negative, miserable people. They don't like themselves, much less anybody else. They're trolls. They're ignorant, etc. They come up with all kinds of names against them. It could be they're just not fools. Or they're not fooled by that person. They see that person is lying. They're not going to say that way, though. At least maybe not now. You never know. Some of them may never see the light. But it's obvious. Let's say it's obvious to a big chunk of people that this person making a video, whatever social media platform, it's obvious to them this person is lying. Just flat out lying. Making stuff up, whatever is the case. Okay, or they're not a voice of authority. They're not. They act as though they know what they're talking about. They don't. You see, but the people who are, the naysayers, they get it. They point out stuff. They say, well, look at this. Can you not see that? The other side doesn't see it. I've already said this before. I looked it up to see it. I know what I think about it. So many different types of people who would do that. Sometimes, some of them is that they're just people who like to see train wrecks waiting to happen and see the train wreck happen. Say that. Say it 3 times real fast. Okay, don't. But some of them, they want to see this kind of stuff. They live for this kind of stuff. So they really don't like the content creator, but they'll say that they do, and they will suggest, oh, come on, don't listen to them. Just keep doing it. You're wonderful. You're great. You're perfect. You're this. You're that. And it builds up that person's ego, and that person gets and they love seeing that. They just love it. It makes their day that they helped create a monster, like they might think in their mind. You don't dehumanize people like that. But, they see that they're creating this whole scene, and look how easy they can do it. It's just to flatter that person. That person just runs with it, becomes so big-headed that they'll do whatever. You see, some people invest in them, they're that sick and twisted. But they like that. And some of them are they just follow whatever the rest of the herd is doing. Okay? Some people, and it's actually called herd mentality. We should not dehumanize people. They're humans. Some see it as these are people who, they used to call them sheeple. Okay, whatever side of whatever fence they're on, and like that. But they're humans. They just aren't seeing it. They might not want to see it. Like I had looked up, did AI overview, Googled it. It says some people, they see the person is giving them something else that they want. Maybe some kind of information on how to do something, you know, a how-to video. And that's all they really care about. They don't care about the drama. They don't care about the bad behaviors. That's what it actually is. They call it bad behaviors. They don't care about all of that other stuff. They just like what kind of information that person is getting out to help them with, say, their job. You know, something like that. You see? So they'll just continue to say, hey, thumbs up, you do a great job. Well, they do a great job, but they have bad attitudes, bad behaviors. You get it? Okay, so now why am I mentioning all this? Well, because that's not a good thing. Really is not a good thing. Whenever you see on a video, you see a whole bunch of people calling, a whole bunch of people who they see as naysayers, you know, people who are opposing it, they're calling them names. Like, really? You know, I have a problem with this because I want to call them sometimes the people who are, you know, that's like being verbally abusive. And I want to call people who, you know, sometimes say something like, you put them in a category maybe other people understand. And believe me, I chastise myself all the time. I say I can't not call them, you know, this or that, because that's just not who I am. But sometimes this stuff does come to my mind, like, you know, like, I have to turn this back on. So it's hot. It's Texas. It's 100 degrees. My SUV says 100 degrees. My phone says 107 feels like. So, yeah. But anyway, you know, I sometimes the word that comes to my mind is low life. Not low class, low life. It's how I see some of these people so despicable. Now, despicable is in a way a different thing, because it says, and what is the, you know, it's been a long time. I'm 62 since I've done that. Thought about something like is it an action? I don't know. You know, I don't want to say it as I don't know, their behavior is despicable. Their behavior is bad. The behavior. I pay attention to the behaviors. All right. And no matter what, like if you do something that is taking food from a baby's mouth, you know, taking food from children, and start, you know, hungry children for your own selfish purposes, that's despicable. You see what I'm saying? So, but when there are people are calling the other people ignorant or, idiots, because they just don't believe what that person is saying, and they have proof. Maybe some projection going on there. I mean, we all know this happens. Nobody's new to it. Or maybe some people, well, I can't say nobody, because see, that's part of the problem, is when I looked some of this up, what part was it? Oh, those who make the blanket statements. See, and that was one right there. But don't make blanket statements, because not everybody in that group is that. I gotta remind myself of that. But just all the people that, you know, do this, it's not an all thing. I should get to that part. All or none. It's either black or it's white. There's no shade. You know, some people think no shades of gray, nothing in between. It's either this or it's that. You know, it's either right or it's left. It's either. No, it's not. Guess what? There are all points in between. So, but they make blanket statements. Everybody in that, you know, they gotta say it like that. Everybody on that side, they are haters, they're trolls, they hate themselves, and you see, it is the same lines over and over and over, quite often. Not always, you know, but quite often. And that's the way they said that when I looked it up on Google. You know, I Googled it, AI overview, was that, you know, people who make the blanket statements like that usually use that kind of dichotomous thinking, that, you know, wording, all or none, black or white, right or left, you know, on and on like that. It has to be one or the other to them. So yeah, let's see what else I have written here. You know, and then that whole thing of they have decided, not all of them, you see there, not all of them, but some of them that are very vocal have decided that they know 100% for certain that anybody who does that is someone who is, they don't like themselves, so they're not going to like anybody else. They're miserable. They live a bad lives. Who told them that? Where did they pick this up? Okay, they've heard it before? Or have they? Or that is just simply how their brains work? Is that a herd mentality kind of thing? Is it this what they call common sense? And then is it all of they? Are they all that way? You know, I may have been making videos on my original channels. Next month will be 11 years. 11 years. I've been online. I had my first computer in 1982. I've been around a long time. I was one of the pioneer women in the social media world. Oh my goodness, I've seen so much. But I tend to say this. It's not always all of them. You know, some might do it. You know, something like this. And some people do actually feel, if you can't say all or none, then you really don't know what you're talking about. When that's the exact opposite of what is true. Okay, I mean, there are a few things in life. Ooh, there's a big old bug. It just flew. I don't know what that is. Ooh, it's neat. I'm going to check this out. What that is, but it's kind of like it's camouflaged. It's a flying, I said bug, flying. I don't know what it is. It could be, I don't think it's a moth, but it is huge. It's a butterfly, maybe? I don't know. But it's like camouflage against the brick on my house. One, like, it's got multicolored bricks, but the brick it landed on is camouflaged because of its, the color of it. It's really neat. Just thought I'd let you know that. Okay, I said here, I'm having a butterfly moment or something. It's just neat. But anyway, so where was I? I don't know. I was looking at my notes. I gotta remember to say this. When I remember years ago, years and years, probably when I was in my 30s, I used to think whenever anybody used the B word, you know, to describe somebody, oh, she's being a bee. Hey, I would say, oh, he's being a bee too. If you're being a bee, you're being a bee. But, you know, they use the B word. That always meant to me that somebody wasn't getting their way. No, really. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes the person is being bad. And that's not the B word I was thinking. But sometimes they are being bad. But sometimes it's just the person who's using that word is not getting their way, or they're not being looked up as, or they want to be looked up as, they are the ones who know it all. You know, they know it all. So they're going to write that comment that, oh, this person, they just hate themselves and they're miserable and they're just, or maybe not. So it can be this or it can be that. Or that and then that and then that and then that in a combination, or this way. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody. That one I will say nobody has all of the answers. Period. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? I actually wrote notes for this too. Anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. It's It still says it's 100 degrees. When I got out here, it said 98. It's 6:11 p.m. July 25th, 2025. And when I got out here, it said 98. Okay, it's going the wrong direction. This is in Texas, north of Dallas, northeast suburb of Dallas. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I'll wrap it up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.